In the 5th Grand Theft Auto 6 clip from CyberLeak, Jason lands a small propeller plane, walks up to a wall, and fires single shots into it until the bullet holes spell the word leak. That is the whole moment. It lasts a few seconds, and it changed what people think is going on with this GTA 6 leak, 4 days before Rockstar's August 27th Netflix reveal. Until that clip, the working theory was that whoever is behind the CyberLeak leaks had a stash of internal Rockstar videos, development recordings, quality assurance captures, the kind of thing that sits on a server inside a studio. Somebody took the folder and has been posting from it. Nobody at Rockstar recorded a video of themselves spelling leak on a wall. To get that shot, you have to be holding the controls. You have to pick a weapon that fires single rounds, stand at a workable distance, and place maybe 20 holes in the right order without wandering off. It's a slow, deliberate thing to do inside a game you're not supposed to have, and the only reason to do it is so the word ends up on camera. This is Jason footage, not Lucia, but it confirms something significant. Somebody had hands on a playable build. With GTA 6's release date set for November 19th, 2026, on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. That matters more than it would have a year ago. For anyone new to this, the game runs 2 playable protagonists, Jason and Lucia Caminos, a Bonnie and Clyde story set across Leonida, the fictional state that holds Vice City. PC Gamer spotted the detail. VideoCardz went through it and agreed on what it means. And their wording is worth keeping, because it's more careful than most of what followed. Either the group has access to a playable build of Grand Theft Auto 6, or they have direct access to somebody who does. That second option gets dropped almost everywhere. It matters, because it's the difference between a person with a stolen copy and a person with a contact inside something. VideoCardz also said what the clip doesn't establish. It doesn't show that CyberLeak holds a complete copy of the game, or that whatever they were playing resembles what ships on release day. Tom's Hardware went further, running a headline calling it a full working build and stating flatly that CyberLeak has the game. That's a bigger claim than the footage supports. What the footage supports is that at some point, somebody was holding a controller. Worth pausing on why anyone believes any of it, because that used to be the hard part. Artificial intelligence video has got good enough that convincing fake Grand Theft Auto 6 footage has been circulating for over a year. Some of it has millions of views. Looking at a clip and deciding it's real stopped being a reliable method some time ago. What separates this from that is Take-Two's response. Copyright takedown notices went out fast and in volume, and the company then filed sworn petitions in federal court describing the material as its copyrighted work. Nobody swears a declaration over something a stranger generated. The legal reaction is the authentication, and it's stronger evidence than anything in the pixels. Take-Two also shed roughly $2.8 billion in market value across 2 days, though analysts were careful to say the leak can't take all the credit, since the stock was already soft going in. If you'd rather have the confirmed version of Grand Theft Auto 6 news than the recycled version, subscribe. This channel is mostly in the business of separating what was shown from what was concluded, and I'll be doing exactly that when the extended look drops on the 27th. There is one alternative explanation still standing, and it's a decent one. The clips going out are chosen by public vote on CyberLeak's own site. Viewers pick from a set of options. If the options are being pulled from an archive that already exists, then the votes are theater, and the whole thing works without anyone ever touching a build. That explains most of the clips. It does not explain a wall spelled out in bullet holes, which leaves a narrower version of the claim than the headlines are carrying. Somebody had hands on a running copy of this game at some point, and that copy was intact enough to fly a plane across Leonida and shoot a wall. Everything past that sentence is inference. Then there's the question of how old any of this is. The first report said the footage came from an old build, dating to 2024 or earlier. That got support from the basketball clip, whose metadata pointed to a 2023 encode. Comforting if you were Rockstar. An old build spoils very little. The driving clip broke that. Playing on the radio in it is Sports Car by Tate McRae, released on the 24th of January, 2025. A song cannot be inside a game build that was made before the song existed, which puts that build after January 2025 and makes it no more than about 20 months old. That's a nice piece of dating, and it came from people in comment threads noticing a radio track, which is worth remembering the next time somebody tells you the community adds nothing. Both of those things can't describe the same build, so the likeliest reading is that this dump spans several build ages and at least part of it is recent. The honest caveat, and you'll see almost nobody attach it, Rockstar licenses music, and licensing happens before release. It's possible they had the track weeks or months early. That doesn't kill the 2025 inference, but it does keep it an inference rather than a timestamp. The reason any of this matters is spoilers, and not the story kind. Footage from an early build tells you what Rockstar was trying 2 or 3 years ago. Half of it may not exist now. Footage from 2025 tells you how the game actually plays in its Leonida and Vice City setting, how the driving feels, how combat resolves, what the interface looks like when you're in it. That's the version people are about to buy. Subscribe if you want the version that checks the dating before repeating the headline. Here is what has appeared across the 8 clips now circulating. All of it unverified, all of it from a build of unknown age, and all of it subject to being changed or cut before GTA 6 launches on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. A basketball minigame where sinking shots raises a stat called focus by 2% at a time. Basketball hasn't been playable in a Grand Theft Auto game since San Andreas. A wanted meter that goes to 6 stars rather than 5. A stamina bar, and a fuel gauge sitting on the vehicles. Somewhere to store cars, bigger inventories, and stats attached to the character himself. When Jason approaches a parked car, 2 options appear: smash window and clone key. Clone key is grayed out, which suggests something needs to be acquired or unlocked before you can use it. Melee fights that end in slow-motion finishers, with indicators around the edge of the screen showing which direction you're being attacked from. A taser. A rail system. Small islands scattered across the map. Phone messages arriving through an app called What Up. A radio interface. A strip club. A short cutscene of Jason drinking a beer with someone on a boat. And an honor system that people are comparing to the morality system in Red Dead Redemption 2. None of the 8 clips have shown Lucia. Her story appears to begin inside a correctional facility, based on what the second trailer showed, which may be part of why she hasn't turned up in open-world footage. That doesn't mean she's missing from the build, only that none of the posted clips have shown her. That honor system is the most interesting thing in the pile, and it's also the thinnest. It's an inference from a meter, not a confirmed feature. There's reporting on the inside of this too. Jason Schreier at Bloomberg has said Rockstar staff are exhausted and angry, that the studio still has not worked out who is responsible, and that the footage appears to come from a working build rather than a video archive, most likely the PC version, since the leaker doesn't appear to have Rockstar development hardware. That's relevant because GTA 6 launches first on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. A PC release date hasn't been confirmed. That lines up with the wall. It also lines up with how the last one went. When 90 development videos leaked in 2022 posted by a hacker using the handle TPAWTuberHacker, part of what convinced people they were real was that debug interfaces were visible and running inside the footage, not polished capture, a game in pieces, with the developer tools left switched on. Rockstar confirmed those were authentic within a day. The person convicted in connection with that hack was Arion Kurtaj, a member of the Lapsus group, and the scale of that breach is useful context for how seriously Rockstar takes this kind of exposure. This time there is no confirmation, and the tell is a man spelling a word on a wall. Now the parts nobody has evidence for. There is no indication CyberLeak has the finished game. Nobody has been arrested or publicly identified either, despite a claim going around that an independent investigator has handed evidence to Rockstar and Take-Two, and Rockstar itself still hasn't said a word. Tom's Hardware made a point that has stuck with me. If someone genuinely had a full working build, the damaging move would be to compile it and put it in the wild. Nobody has done that. What's happening instead is a slow drip of clips with a Memecoin watermark on them. If anything tied to this offers you early access to something, close it. There are impersonator accounts running on X, Discord, and Telegram, and none of it is legitimate. The reference point arrives on the 27th. Rockstar's extended look, airing that day on Netflix, shows the build the studio has chosen to show, and putting the leaked clips next to it is the first real way to judge how much of this is still in the game. Some people are calling it Trailer 2, though Rockstar hasn't used that framing. Subscribe and I'll do exactly that once the reveal lands. As of this morning, there are 8 clips. There were 5 on Thursday.